Dear friends, welcome to THALIR. It means bud. It is budding force to a new life. And we are Capuchins working for the renewal of the society and the church. Dear friends, welcome to THALIR Capuchin Online Ministries from Salana's KC Animation Center, Viluppuram, India. This is part of THALIR Visit, the virtual institute for spirituality, integrity, and transformation. In this week, we shall be having International Skills Development Program for Secretaries Level 2. We are happy to have Dr. John Sekar, YFM, and Dr. Anthony Swami, SVD, for this. We shall be dealing with event management, planning, execution, and evaluation, and the best use of online tools and social media, both led by Dr. John Sekar, YFM. We shall be having practical classes on advanced Office 365, templates and layouts, continued by practicals on mobile video documentary, and practicals on Google Family, advanced features, and social media. This will be dealt by Dr. Anthony Swami. We are also happy to announce to you other international programs coming ahead in November and December. November 16th to 20th, we shall be having Social Work Directors Meeting program on project management and fundraising. And December 1 to 3, special training for teachers on capacity building and faculty development program on psychological understanding of children and adolescents, and also developing EQ. We shall be having a special training, one full day seminar and symposium, women to women, only women. It will be connected to medical doctors are there to guide. This will be focused on the physical, psychosomatic concerns of religious women. December 7 to 12, we shall be having the provincial and the congregational teams focus on financial management of the provinces or the congregations. Followed by this, December 14 to 18, there will be special training on school administration, especially on the financial administration of the schools. It's also connected to e-governance. In the new year, 2021, we shall be having international certificate courses for the novices who are preparing themselves for the vows, and also junior religious preparing for their finals. It will be a lengthy course for the certificate courses. There will be also ongoing formation program for the religious and leadership course for the major superiors, community animation and community administration for the local superiors, special training for the jubilarians on renewal and rebirth, and also there are many Franciscan congregations. For them, we shall be having course on Franciscan spirituality. We are happy to have amidst us for this week Dr. John Sekar and Dr. Anthony Swami.
So good evening, sisters. I would like to begin with time management actually. In the last session, the previous month, where we had discussed about the secretary's role and responsibilities, this one topic I did not touch upon. But as we are talking today about how to use the best online facilities available for effective management, I thought I will start with addressing this important dimension of our life as a whole, time management. Now, one of the dangers with regard to the social media or the use of mobile phone is that it leads while it facilitates a lot of positive aspects, it also has its own dangers and risks. So one of the dangers that this mobile phone presents to us, or the social media that present to us, is distraction or the waste of time. If we are not disciplined personalities, if we do not know how to manage the time, we will be spending lots and lots of time on this mobile phone and social media, leading to wastage of time. So in order that we may be best people making use of these online facilities, we need to know, first of all, how to manage time. I'm sure some of you would have already attended the sessions on time management from various people or from various courses. But here it would be kind of reminder to us. We need to be constantly reminded about the good things of life. So in order to understand how we can make use of these time management, the time that is available to us, I would like to recollect your memory if you have already attended about time management. So what is this time management? Time management is the process of organizing and planning how to divide, allot, choose time between specific activities. Whatever our role is, secretary, major superior, principal, director, or coordinator, whatever our responsibility may be, including of being a student studying in a college, we need to plan our time. Planning our time is organizing the 24 hours that is given to us in a day, 7 days in a week, 30 days in a month. So time management is all about organizing, planning our time for specific activities. So we are not into doing one monotonous activities. We are involved with doing very many activities in our house. Okay, one may be a superior. Being a superior, the same person may be in charge of formation or in charge of a commission in the province or in charge of school, teaching in the school, as well as handling the community activities. Being a superior means managing the house as well as keeping in touch with the provincial administration, other aspects of the community life, other responsibilities, maybe parish ministry, house visit. So there are a mixture of activities which we need to carry out as one single individual. So in order to be efficient in every activity, in every responsibility, we need to have certain organization of our life, certain plan of our life. How are we going to spend time for each of the activities? That's what time management is. So it has to be a part of habit for us, this time management activity. As the week begins, as the day begins, as the month begins, we need to have this time management activity as individuals as well as a community. Therefore, it becomes possible at the end of the day, end of the week, end of the month to see whether we have achieved whatever we have chosen. So, good time management enables us to work smarter, not harder. It means to say that one person can simply be working and working and working. That is hard work. But whether is there smartness in our work is the question we need to ask. Just because I spend my time 8 hours in the office in the entire day does not mean I am productive, does not mean I have achieved what I wanted to. So, working hard need not necessarily always bear expected fruits. We need to add smartness to the hard work. And what we mean by smartness is the planning, the organization of our time as well as the distribution of time to each of the activities. That's what we mean by smartness. Okay. So we get more done in less time. So if you are an organized, disciplined person, and if you know where to allot how much of time to what work, then you are able to achieve more things in less time. You know for sure that a disorganized person is going to waste a lot of time not knowing where to set the priorities and how to distribute the time. So all of us in that way have to be organized personalities. Organized personalities meaning that we know every day is planned, every week is planned, every month is planned. That's how we bring in a certain amount of system in the way we work, in the way we deliver results through our responsibilities. So even when we know we have a lot of things to do, even when there is so much of pressure to complete certain work, if we are disciplined, organized, and manage the time effectively, no pressure can overtake us. No pressure can pull us down. with the proper time management, we will be able to achieve. We have 8 solid hours minimum for our work during the day, leaving out various other activities that we need to have. So in the 8 given hours, if you do think and imagine, there is a lot that we can achieve. So even when you think that you have lots of things to do, without instead of feeling stressful about the list of works, you need to start plan and execute the work one by one. That's what we mean by the time management. So failing to manage our time damages our effectiveness. Effectiveness, damaging our effectiveness means we become less productive. Our results are minimized, and then we get into stress. So every other day you end up saying, "Oh, I have not completed my work. Today I have not performed well. That work is still pending." So then the stress level increases. So failing to manage our time damages our effectiveness, minimizes our productivity, and then causes stress in our work life. So it is therefore very important that we allot time and manage our time as per the different activities that we are expected to carry out in whatever the position we are in. So sometimes for us, it seems that there is never enough time in the day. People do complain, "I don't have enough time. Today I was too busy, I did not have time for myself." We tend to complain that. So there is an idea that there is never enough time for us. But how do we create enough time, sufficient time for ourselves as well as for the work is through the planning and organization of the day. So if I tend to complain that I don't have enough time, it means to say that I am lacking planning, I am lacking time management. So when I have 8 solid hours during the day, minimum work hours, there is a lot that can be achieved through these 8 hours if I completely put in. But then whether I am planned, organized, managing time is what is going to facilitate the maximum optimum utilization of the 8 minimum work hours in a day. So being busy isn't the same as being effective. Okay. So if somebody says, "I am very busy, I am very busy," that person need not necessarily be an effective person. So good time management requires an important shift in focus from activities to results. Okay. So being a busy means I am hopping on from one activity to the other activity to other activity without actually completing one particular work. Okay. So instead of finding out how many activities I am engaged with, I need to see for myself what are the results I am giving out through my work. So instead of taking too many works, take 2 works and then finish the work in time. Finish and produce the results in time. So that's what we mean by focusing the shift from activities to results. So I may be a busy person doing 101 things, but whether what I do bears enough, sufficient, adequate, satisfied results is what is very, very important. I may be busy with just 2 things, and 2 things I do it very well, complete the task in time, and I feel satisfied at the end of the day, as well as one who has entrusted that particular work to me is also satisfied. What we call as job satisfaction is very, very important for us to continue to do better well in our work. And that job satisfaction will come only when our focus is on delivering results. So it's not how busy I am, but what I do with the busy time is very, very important. So at the end of the day, end of the week, end of the month, when we do review the kind of work life that we have lived, we should be satisfied. We shouldn't have regret, oh, I could have done that better, I could have completed that work in time. So instead of having regrets at the end of the day, week and month, at the beginning of the day, week and month, we should plan and spend our day. It's not a kind of mechanical thing that we do when I talk about planning, organizing, and time management, but I present it to you as form of developing a habit. So if I have a habit of planning my day at the beginning of the day, week and month, then it is a part of my life. It's not something that I do it very artificially or because somebody is forcing it onto me. So it has to become a natural part of our life. Then the workflow is very smooth and we are able to produce results also. So especially when we are in formation as juniors, as candidates, as students, it is important that this habit of time management is inculcated. Okay. Later on, when later as we grow, the scope for distractions are also many. So as we grow in our life, our contacts get wider, our problems get bigger, our worries get increased, and therefore there is more scope for scattering of our time into various things. So we need to form our youngsters into this habit of time management, planning one's life, which is very, very important. So it helps us both in our personal life, in the community life, as well as in the administrative responsibilities. So we shouldn't wait for somebody to be professed, then to be interest responsibility, and then ask the person to do some course on time management, effective management. So it is something that we should train our formees right from maybe the candidacy as well. So what is the difference between being busy and being productive? Being busy, somebody who says I'm too busy, I don't have time at all, meaning that that person has numerous priorities. One person cannot have many priorities in life. So priorities have to be limited. There should be set priorities in life. Not that person considers every other activity important and spends same amount of time and energy for the each of the responsibilities. Priorities means you know what tops the list, what comes the second, what comes the third, and what comes the last. And accordingly, you are able to invest your time and energy proportionate to the seriousness, urgency, and importance of the work. So being busy means I have numerous priorities in my life that I am not able to set a list of priorities. Productive, limited priorities. On a single day, you are thinking of achieving 2 or 3 works to be completed. So you don't put your hand on every activities, maybe 5, 6, 10. So then you don't end up completing any of the works at the end of the day. So start the day with limited priorities. That is very important. We will see in the later slide how we do set the priorities. Then respond with yes, fast. One of the concerns of Father Nitya is with regard to how people can learn to say no when they know they have too much of work. So first of all, we are not called to be pleasing personalities. A pleasing person is one who finds it difficult to say no. But a person who is a reassured personality, who is a confident personality, whose self-worth is not dependent on somebody else, will be able to say with the determination, no, I will not be able to complete the work. I need time. So you don't take every work that comes to you. At certain point of time, when you know you have work up to your neck, you're supposed to say no, or you're supposed to say it may be done next week or next month. So do not respond with yes fast when works are multiplied to you. Think twice before saying yes, whether you will be able to complete in time, whether you are going to be, whether this work is going to take so much of stress. Okay, so think twice before saying yes. Then a person who is busy will keep talking about how busy that person is. You know how busy I am, you know how busy I am. That person will only keep talking. But a productive, result oriented person will not simply go around taking pride or brag about how a person is busy. On the other hand, that person will allow the work to speak for itself, his work to speak for itself. So let the result speak for itself. So then, from what you do through your work, people will know whether you have spent sufficient time, how much of energy you have put in that work. Then busy persons are also irresponsible multitaskers. A person cannot have his hand in every pie. Okay, so you can't be irresponsible multitasker, saying that you take up so many responsibilities because of which one responsibility suffers on account of other responsibility. So a productive person is one who is a responsible workforce. So I know what I am capable of doing, what I am able to do, and what I am doing I will be able to do well in a given point of time. That's what we mean by responsible workforce. So spending our day in a series of activities will end up there in achieving less. We achieving less because we are dividing our attention between so many different activities, tasks. So when our attention is divided into various activities, our attention becomes less to each of the activities. Our energy being invested becomes also very less into each of activities. So what is good time management? Meaning that we need to work smarter. We are supposed to do more in less time. So we need to take up one activity after the other and then give yourself completely to each of the activities. Okay. So what is time management? Just to recollect, time management refers to the way we organize and plan how we spend time on specific activities. Just for a recollection of what we are talking about so far is that time management refers to the way we organize and plan how we spend our time on specific activities. So what are the benefits of a person who manages the time well with proper plan and organization? First of all, let's value time as money. Okay, all of us know how valuable money is. Equally valuable is also a time. Money spent never retrieved. Okay, but in the same way, time spent is never going to come back to us. So every time, every hour, minute, second is also valuable. Once time is spent, it is gone forever. You can't go back to the time and then rework on the work you have done. So time is money. So we can't afford to waste the time. Then time management helps us to prioritize the activities. So when you do plan and when you do organize yourself, you are prioritizing your activities. Another important thing is discipline. Okay, so discipline is not just about the personal life. Discipline in work is also very, very important. So when you have a plan, organized time management, you're actually disciplining your work life. So you know how much of time you're going to spend in the office, and you also know how much of time for each of the activities, and you also know what is the procedure of you going about one work after the other on a single day, on a week, on a month. So you are able to have a complete picture of your work life as per your daily, weekly, and monthly schedule. So that helps you to relieve yourself from stress and also go easily from one activity after the other. Then other benefits of time management is that there is greater productivity and efficiency. Okay, so as I have been, and the theme, the goal behind conducting all these sessions is to make us religious more productive as well as more efficient, on par with the professionals outside in the world who get qualified. Okay, so that is the intention behind all this. So one of the ways how we become more productive, efficient in our work is through managing our time well. Okay, so when you do manage your time well, when you do bear productively through your results, then you earn for yourself a reputation, a professional reputation. So we don't take our work for granted. We work as professionals. Just because I am a religious, just because I work within my province, just because I am dealing with my own brothers, I do not have any excuse that it's okay, no problem. If I make a mistake, it's okay. If something goes wrong, it's okay. Such kind of complacency should not be there. I should assume my responsibility as a professional responsibility and give due credit, due value for the work that I am entrusted with. So another benefit of a time management is that it brings down the stress level, then increase opportunities for advancement. Okay, so if you are a person who regularly plans, organizes, manages your time, then you are able to better yourself, you are able to improve yourself. Then there is greater opportunities to achieve important life and work goals. Okay, so you would have surely studied about short-term goals, mid-term goals, long-term goals. In the last presentation, I did refer to these kind of goals, and these goals are set up for our spiritual life, personal life, as well as for our professional life. Similarly, such goals could also be set up in our work responsibilities, also as a life, as a community life, as a community, as an institution. What are the short-term goals, mid-term goals, long-term goals? Short-term goals maybe in months time, short mid-term goals for 6 months period, long-term goals at the end of the year. So that's how we create. Okay, so when you are efficient with regard to time management, it provides opportunities for you to achieve these goals, short-term, mid-term, as well as long-term goals. What are the consequences when you fail in time management? When you are not able to manage your time properly, and if you are a disorganized person, what are the consequences we suffer from? First of all, missed deadlines. So I won't be able to finish my work before the deadline at all. So it is a bad habit if I am working up to the last minute of the deadline, meaning to say I have not planned my time, I have distracted myself with various activities. A good timely, good person who manages the time well will always finish the work before the deadline. Okay, so if I'm getting up early on Sunday morning to write my Sunday sermon, that is burning the lamp at the last hour. Okay, so that's not how we are supposed to plan ourselves. Okay, so I know my rector will always tell us that as soon as he finishes the Sunday mass on Monday morning, he reads the gospel of the next Sunday, and then he spends his enough time for reading the word of God, reflecting. So that's planning, that's organizing. As soon as the weekday mass is over, he comes back to his room, reads the next day's gospel, and he's already ready with few of the thoughts for the next day's sermon. So you plan well ahead. You don't sit at the last moment, and we will be making fun of ourselves. So another negative consequence is inefficient workflow. So if I am not managing my time effectively, I may be doing lot of work, whether my work is efficient, whether my work satisfies my superiors. That is the then similarly poor work quality. So it is not a good results, and poor professional reputation and a stalled career. So if I have not excelled in my responsibility, I have given a clear indication to my superiors that I am not fit for that job. Okay, so I will never be given the same responsibility again in my life. Then higher stress levels, it causes higher stress. Your mind is too full of too many things to do, and if you're not managing the time, you only complain, which adds to the stress level. Okay. So these are some of the ways to manage. What I'm going to talk to you now is the ways to manage the time. Okay, one thing is to keep a time diary. Okay, if at all I am a person who is not used to managing my time, I go sit in my office. As my mind wanders, I can take the things and do my work. As works come in, I do the work. Then it is important for us to carry a notebook and write down everything we do. Okay, so on a single day, it is important for us to write down all the activities that we have done right from we got up till go to bed, and ask and also see how much of time you have spent. Okay? So at the end of the day today, if you are able to write down on your diary or a journal as to how you have spent every time of the day, in what activities and how long, you will be in for surprise to see whether you have spent your time well or whether you have spent time badly. So it is good for us to ask ourselves at the end of the day how much of quality time we have spent in work. 8 hours, okay, calculate. And in these 8 hours, how much of quality time that you have put in for your work. If you happen to be a principal in a school or working in a hospital, I am sure you will have a hectic work schedule and you have a days already set out for you. But even within a particular responsibility as a principal, as a director, as an administrator, it's good for each one to review the life. How much of qualitative time that I have spent in work. So try keeping a diary for at least a few days to get a good picture of the way I spend my time every day. Okay, where like this phone, for example. Nowadays, the phones will tell you how much of time we have spent on the phone as well. How much of time we have picked up the phone and opened the screen. So it will tell you. And if you have set up the limit, it will tell you you have already exceeded the limit. So how much of time we actually spend on the phone is also a good thing for us to see for ourselves. Secondly, write down the ways we waste time. So just like how we spend time that we should note down, it is also good for us to note down how we waste the time. Okay, so there are certain habits that we have. Just now I refer to every time going to the phone and check the WhatsApp. Okay, you would have just checked within 2 seconds. Again, we go back to check whether there is some message or not. Somebody who is addicted to social media, they will constantly go back to see how many likes they have got, how many sharing. So whether if you are working in a school, you know these children come from these kind of backgrounds, constantly exposed to the social media, and that is one of the ways how students, youngsters end up wasting the time by spending so much of time online. So it is also for us, okay, if not the social media, if not the mobile phone, there are ways how we end up wasting our time. Corridor talks may be one of the ways how we waste the time. Okay, so if you plan your time, organize your life, one of the important aspects that destroys our community, like gossips, backbiting, they will also reduce if each one is responsible to the time management in one's life. So look through our time inventory and see the areas where we can save time. So if I know where I am prone to waste my time, then I will be able to limit my engagement with that wasteful activity and save my precious time for a work that is worthwhile. Then determine why we procrastinate. Some people have a habit of wasting time. Yeah, not a habit of postponing things. Procrastination means postpone things. I will come with all the full interest to do the work and complete today, and then I get a call or I do something on the computer. Somebody walks into my room, then the work is completely delayed, or I'm not able to complete my my concentration shifts to something else. So if you plan, stick to the plan, no matter who walks into your room, unless until there is some other emergency work, you should not alter your priority because you don't want to hurt somebody, because you want to please somebody. Okay, so if you make a plan, if you plan, organize your time, stick to the plan and stick to the organization. One of the important things that we can learn from the Westerners is that they make appointment for everything, including of going to the parents' house and drinking tea for 1 hour. That's also planned. And once the appointment is made, that becomes sacred. Nobody can barge into it. Nobody can change into it. And if the appointments are not kept up, if the appointments are changed, then they become very tensed. Maybe that's too much of planning, but we can learn something of planning. So once you have something planned in your diary, in your daily life, don't allow anything and everything to intrude. Somebody comes into the room and says, okay, let's go for a walk. Okay, but you know you have planned something else on their time. It is good to tell the person, no, something else I have planned for this time. I may not be able to come. So don't allow anything and everything to let your work be postponed. Okay, so instead of becoming upset that you are putting a task off, you're postponing, it is good to find out the reasons why we are doing. Why are we not actually able to complete the work? Am I scared to do the work? Am I too tired? Is the task boring? Or is the task too easy or too hard? Okay. So these kind of questions that you are able to ask will help you to coordinate your time as well as energy to complete the work in time instead of postpone. As I have been repeatedly saying the last month as well as yesterday, one of the important things is to do the to-do list. Make list of everything that we plan, everything that we do this day and that week. Okay, that's a very, very basic quality of time management for planning. Make list of everything that we are supposed to do. We are people who tend to forget, and when you are into some sort of administrative responsibility to deal with very many persons, very many activities, you are prone to forget some of the things. Okay, so make list of everything. So once you know these are the things you are able to do, then you will be able to assign priority to each of the work. Then once you make the list, cross those things out so that we feel encouraged. Okay, so you know, as I told you last time, that we have a sticker that is given to us on the laptop or on the computer. So you make all the to do things as a list and keep it on the computer, and it is always there. As soon as you open the laptop or a computer, it will pop up and it will show you the list of things you have done and list of the things you have completed. So that has got just 3 options of typing, making it bold, and strike through. Okay, so bold means some things are important. Strike through, you have already completed. So that's good to have on our computer the list of the things that we need to do. And once you complete, you strike off. And when you see that, you feel encouraged as well as motivated to complete the rest of the work. Then our list also should be realistic and attainable. Something that is very impossible to achieve on a single day. And when you know for sure, don't assign it to be completed on a single day. So when we make a list and when we allot the time, we need to be realistic, something that has to be achievable. We need to set it as a goal. Okay. So prioritize our tasks once the list is made so that we know what's more important and what should be completed first. Okay. So this is something that I read, and I'm sure you will agree that people are typically more productive in the morning. Okay. So as soon as we come to the office, we are fresh and we are ready for work and we are not very tired. So it is good to start the day with something which is very complete, something which is requires a lot of mind attention. So in that way, we will be helping ourselves to complete the most important task. So don't start the day with the easiest work. just because you can complete it quickly. But start the day with something which is very difficult, and then once you complete it, then you will go ahead with rest of the works, and the day also gains momentum, and you are also in a mood mindset to work more. So start the day always with the difficult work. So here is what we call as setting priorities. So if you see, there are works which are urgent and important, something that has to be completed tomorrow by this evening, that is urgent as well as that is important. So in the making of the list of the works that you have to do, you have to see what is urgent and important. Both these qualities have to be there for a work to be set as the first priority. Then there are works which are important but not urgent. Okay, so that can take time, that can wait for some time. Okay, so that you can set it for the next week or by the end of the week to complete. Important but not urgent, you have still time to do. There are works which are urgent but not important. So urgent means you have to make a phone call. Okay, you may have to reply to your friend, you may have to send a message, SMS to somebody. So they are urgent work but not very important. Okay? Then there are works which are neither urgent nor important, and they are usually the distractions, okay, that which leads us to waste the time. So this is how we set the priorities based on these two values of urgency and importance. So having had certain amount of experience in the work that we are involved in, we need to be able to make out what is urgent important, what is urgent not important, what is important but not urgent. Some kind of system we should have also in setting the priorities. For every work, there should be a deadline. Okay, so once you begin the work, you also set the deadline, not allow the work to continue. Then you will be doing the same work for days together, months together. So our list will only work if we actually use the list, setting the deadlines. So once I know at the end of the day I should have completed this work, and when I have not completed, I can ask myself why, what happened, what was the reason. And if I have completed, I can be satisfied that my work was efficient and I was able to complete the work. And always do our best to stick to our deadlines. Now, this deadline, sometimes we set it for ourselves. First of all, life is all about being accountable to oneself, not because somebody has given me this work, not because I'm appointed, I do the work. Once I assume the responsibility, it is my work, it is my responsibility. So I am accountable to my work. So if you feel personally accountable and responsible to yourself, then you will stick to the deadlines. Who is going to ask me? After all, I can decide what I have to do today and tomorrow. Then that is a kind of complacency which will lead us into disorganized way of working or indisciplined way of working. So be sure also to set the realistic deadlines that consider our responsibilities and obligations, something that has to be achievable on a single day. Okay. Then give ourselves some room for error when choosing a deadline. Okay. So like for example, Sunday sermon has to be completed, simple example, by Saturday morning. Okay. So you set it up. So even if you're not able to finish it by Saturday morning, the full sermon, at least you have afternoon and evening to work at it. Don't keep the deadline Sunday sermon Saturday night at 9:30. So that's not how we set the deadline. Deadline has to be set much ahead of the finishing time. That's what we mean by a deadline. So you give some room for error. So some work that has to be completed by Saturday evening, you make a deadline Friday evening that will be complete. Saturday morning it will be sent. So in case that work does not get over by Friday evening, then you have still some more hours in the morning to finish. So always set the deadline before you are expected actually to complete and finish the work. This is another important aspect of delegating responsibility. You understand, So don't do everything on your own. When you know there are people around who are willing to help you, who are willing to share the work, delegate the responsibility. But be sure when you delegate the responsibility that you delegate it to the right person. Afterwards, you shouldn't get worried about the work, and you shouldn't end up doing double the work, correcting what that person has done, and then that requires more of your work. So learn to delegate your responsibilities. Have some persons, confident persons who will come and help you with something or the other. As a major superior, you need lots of help. You won't be able to deal with everything of the work. So have some trustful persons around you who can do one work or the other for you, provided that person is reliable and trustworthy. Then take a break. Okay, don't never sit at the desk continuously more than an hour or 2 hours, both for our physical health and for our psychological health. It is very important that we take enough amount of breaks during the day. Okay, then also avoid over scheduling. Okay, so time management does not mean that you want to finish all of the works on a single day. Come on, that's not possible. So don't task yourself with too many activities on a single day. Okay, so if you have set the priorities based on urgency and importance, you know how you can plan your entire week. So don't think of completing the entire week's work on a single day, okay, or in 3 days time. You need to distribute the responsibilities in such a way that you are able to achieve at the end of the day whatever the work you wish to complete. Then evaluate your schedule. Okay, so at the end of each day, take a look at the list. Similarly, also at the week. So one of the important aspects that we cannot afford to ignore in our professional life or in administration is reviewing our work. Okay, so in an NGO, for example, the staff have to come together on Fridays or Saturdays and have a review meeting. In a school, for example, the staff have to come together once in a month to review. Similarly, also in the hospital. So in the communities, also we need to have a review house chapters. So that will put us back on the right track. Something that is not attended to over a period of time will become a normal part of our life, and we will forget that that is something which is not right, something that is which is wrong. Okay, we will forget. So this review is very important process. Personal life, we know how much is important, and also for our professional as well as for our community work also, this reviewing, evaluating our schedule is very important. Okay, so that's about time management. So we can quickly, if somebody has something to ask, we can ask. I saw two of them raising the hand. So if there is anything to be asked, we can ask. Then I will go on to talk about the online tools the remaining time.
Thank you. Father Ben will lead us into that. Yes, Father Ben.
Yes. Friends, if you have any questions, you can just use the hand icon, which is located just below the participants list. Or physically, you can just raise. If you could, we are able to find it out, we'll.
Father Ben, there is a raising of the hand by FMCK.
FMCK, okay. Yeah, you can unmute and ask FMCK.
I had missed someone's slide, that's why I had just raised my hand, but it's over now. It's okay. I will take from John.
Yeah, okay. So we'll continue then with
yes.
Now I'm going to talk to you about the use of online tools for effective management. First of all, as I begin, I must confess that all of us are using the online tools. The fact that we are sitting down now attending this seminar through Zoom, we are actually using the online tools. So this pandemic has availed in plenty these online tools to make the best use. And Father Nitya has not missed the chance. He is making use of this online tool called Zoom to the optimum. Okay, so if you have a Zoom and if you are paid for it, and if you do not use it, that is against our poverty, against that is injustice. So similarly, also the kind of phone that we have, okay, how much money we have paid for it, it should be used to the optimum. The laptop you have, the computer you have. So whatever the facilities that we have to make the best use of it. Today, having a phone is not against our poverty, but having a phone costing 40,000 and just using it for SMS and phone is against our poverty. And if you have internet, and I'm not saying we should constructively, fruitfully, the best way possible we can use. So a lot of good things can happen through the phone, through the internet, through the social media. So let's not only concentrate on the negative aspects of the social media and the internet. There is so much of positive things that are happening in the online world. So we need to cultivate making the optimum use of these online tools. So what are these? Just now I told you this online world, we mean by the internet. Everything is dependent on internet. So whenever we use internet, we are actually online. Whatever the means of communication that may be, a social media, a mobile phone, Zoom, YouTube, we are all dependent on internet. So that is online world. So this online world offers us wide range of benefits. Okay, you know it, immense opportunities. Okay, immense opportunities for learning in the first place. If we are people who are learning, internet offers us immense opportunities. Another way, maintaining connections, okay, communication, being in touch, sending SMS, calling. Networking is made easy. Okay, so for administrations, you are able to contact a person who is staying far away and still work together for something. Then we are also able to access more information. Okay, Google, for example, provides every information possible under the sky. And then besides knowing the benefits, opportunities, we also should be aware of the risks that are involved online world. They say nothing comes without a price. So in this online world, everything is free. You pay for an internet data, that's all. And everything else comes free, but not without a price. Okay. So all of us who use Facebook, we leave a digital print behind. Our habits, our behavior on online world is always watched. Okay. So for example, we book Ola, Uber. These are the international famous apps for booking, but they don't want car. But where you have booked, where you have gone, how much you have paid will always remain with them. Shopping, Amazon and Flipkart, we used to buy things. They know what kind of shopping behavior we have, especially for the people outside. So once we use internet for anything, we leave a digital footprint behind. My name will be there. If I booked a taxi, if I bought something, my phone number will be there. My bank details will be there. So our online behavior is always watched. They say there is a big brother watching you. So internet is actually a big brother who always watches us. I'm not threatening or putting a fear in you. If we are using it constructively, usefully, there is nothing that we need to be worried about. Nevertheless, we need to be aware of the risks involved. So what do we mean by online world? I'm just putting some things only here from what I know and studied, and there can be many other things. Internet, you know, mobile, social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and other things. Website, you know, blogs, okay, WordPress blog. We will see later what each one is. Then there is Weebly, then there is Wix, okay. Then online world is used for communication, okay. Zoom platform, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet. These are all learning platforms besides very many other things. There are also online courses, free courses, Coursera.com. That is one thing which offers lot of courses. Then communication. Okay, so these are the online world that we are talking about. So life does not move today without the internet. Okay, so everybody is there, right from the senior most person in our community to the junior most today. Everybody is one way or the other connected with the world of internet. Okay, and access to internet is a basic necessity. Yeah, just like food, water, shelter, dress, internet also is a basic necessity. And today internet is not a luxury. Yeah, everyone affords and everyone needs today. Today everything is paid online. Applications are submitted online. So internet is not a luxury. It is a must need today for effective administration management. For us also, internet is a must. So let's not have a contempt towards internet, seeing as worldly thing, but see how what good we can do in our congregation, in our church, in our institution through the use of internet. Information is wealth today, and this information is available in plenty, free of cost, on the tip of our finger. You see number of books available in soft copy free of cost, and all those books you can have an access to it. Now we come to one by one. Okay, mobile banking. Okay, one of the administrative task is to deal with finance. We have a problems with societies opening bank account personally and having a card and using mobile banking. But you know today the conveniences that are provided through the mobile banking. So some way through the auditors, we should have some card in each of the communities or as a province to do this mobile banking, like ticket booking from airline to, I'm sure most of you must be doing it, but I'm once again making you aware of the benefits of this online internet. So you don't depend on a travel agent, you don't go outside to book your ticket, or you don't have a time. So everything's available and you can do it through phone. So when this facility is available, we should see how we can incorporate into our daily life and make the best use of it and make our life convenient. Okay, so there is nothing wrong in going through easy ways so that we have more time for us to do very many other things for the sake of God's kingdom. So we should stop seeing these are all against our values, our traditions, but we should see how we can make use of the existing facilities and spare more time for more people. Okay, so in the mobile phone, you have calendar as well as organization. With regard to time management, I told you about the to-do list. I told you about distributing different activities, which you can do it on your phone. The phone has a calendar, and the calendar you can plan your entire day. It is possible. The whole month can be planned. Google, I'm sure Father will talk to you when he talks about Google. There is a Google Calendar which can be connected to your Gmail as well. So when you book a ticket, it will be part of your calendar, and Gmail will automatically remind you the things that you are supposed to do. So that Google Calendar is something which is very useful, and I'm sure Father will teach you in the coming days. Photography, videography, all possible today mobile. Today nobody goes around with a DSLR camera to take any photos or videos. Best photos, best videographs can be done by good phones. Today we buy phones for camera. Okay, so when you buy phone, you see for what purposes you are buying the phone for. So as a secretary who goes around taking photos, who has to maintain documents, who may have to take some video clips, buy a very good phone with a good camera. And if you buy a phone like Oppo, it's a phone meant for camera. But when people buy, are they using it well? Okay, are they really taking photographs? Are they taking videos? So when you have some facilities, make good use of it. Okay, and today through mobile phones, you also have live videos, which you can either do it through mobile phone or do it through YouTube or through Facebook, and both can be done through your mobile phone. So you are having a good profession, and today it is all possibly done. Okay, a birthday of a senior most sister, and you want every community to be part of it. You put it as a YouTube live, share the link with the rest of the sisters, so the whole province can wish that sister. So such things are possible today. Then you have maps, navigation, travel, and learning and research is also possible. Your access to mail, real-time update is done. As the things happen, you can keep updating the people through WhatsApp. So all these things are possible through mobile. So when you take next time the mobile phone, ask yourself for what are you using that mobile phone for. Okay. So smartphones should make us smart people, not that only phone remains smart and we still remain ancient and old. The next aspect is the WhatsApp. Okay, all of us are in WhatsApp, I am sure. Okay, so WhatsApp is simple and reliable messaging. Okay, so you will see that end-to-end encryption. Okay, in WhatsApp there is always said the messages that you send are encrypted end-to-end. That means no third party can read the WhatsApp. Okay, but the government, they have their own way. Usually, no third party can access to our messages or the calls or anything. Okay, so WhatsApp has got so many facilities. Okay? So we should make use of these facilities that this social media offers for our effective work. The last class, the last session, I had told you about how broadcast groups can be helpful, how groups can be helpful, WhatsApp web can be used, voice and video calls. Okay, sharing documents is possible through WhatsApp today. Messaging, there is also, you can Father Nitya does all these facilities available, making the sentences bold, italics, and strike through. So don't just send the message. There is possibilities to make the important message bold in WhatsApp, italics, as well as strike through. Okay, so you can see for yourself. Then today WhatsApp web call button, it is something very new. So you can call the person from computer itself. WhatsApp web calls coming. Then they have already got the permission for WhatsApp Pay. Just like there is Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm. This is WhatsApp Pay is another online payment thing. Then Facebook. Not Facebook has become today like old thing. People, the youngsters today have gone to Instagram. Many of them are present in Instagram. Facebook is something. Now you know Facebook and WhatsApp are owned by the same persons. Okay, so Facebook letting the world know who we are, what we do. Like you post, you can also message. You should know when you start a Facebook page as a province whether whom are you opening it for. You can use Facebook page that you do create for occasion promotion. You can also use the Facebook page in order to convey information to your donors, your benefactors, your project funders. Okay, you can also start a Facebook page just to let others know what you're doing, what your ministries are. So these are some of the facilities that the Facebook offers us. Then there is Twitter. I'm not sure if many are present in Twitter. Even if you are not present in Twitter, you can follow Twitter. Okay, if you are not posting, because Twitter is the most instant mode of getting any news possible. The real-time update takes place in the world of Twitter. Okay, so keeping oneself instantly updated is through Twitter. All that a person can post is just 140 characters. Right? After that, the person cannot post at all. You can also post videos, links, photographs as well. But Twitter is the fastest mode of communication in the world today. Just as it happens, the Twitter people keep update. Then with regard to Twitter, they talk about trending. What is trending in the world today? What is the trending news? Is actually determined by Twitter. So you know what is called as hashtag. So hashtag is a facility in the computer. So when they use hashtag Pope Francis, and many people start posting the same thing, that it becomes trending. So the trending is something that is determined by this social media network called Twitter. Then you have YouTube. Today, almost all the congregations have started a YouTube channel, especially with this pandemic. Okay. Okay, so it is good that we as a congregation have a YouTube channel for any purposes. So if you have to do a live mass, if you have to, now this Zoom also is connected to YouTube as well. You can create a good video and upload for viewing. You can view a lot of good videos as well on YouTube. From YouTube, you can download lots of videos which are very good, which are very informative for training the staff in the school or for our own formies. There are a lot of things that the YouTube offers us. Okay, so it is good to browse through YouTube and see what is there. So we can also contribute to YouTube by creating a good content. So Father has been repeatedly saying about THALIR YouTube channel with lots of informative videos that are uploaded, and these are all free of cost. Okay, so you can easily access. So YouTube is another online tool which we can make best use. Website. Okay, website is very important, especially it adds credibility to our work. Okay, so there should be a website for our congregation, for our NGO, in order to keep updating various kind of works that we do. So website, like if a person gives you an address without a phone number, an email ID, you tend to doubt if that address is really true. Similarly, for us to be digitally present, we need to have website. So website, first of all, helps us to be found as well as to be identified. So if someone searches some congregation's name as to where we are, what we do, what our ministries are, we opening a website allow the persons to find us in the digital world. So they can locate us, they can get to know more about us, and we can also constantly update our website with different kinds of activities that we do, which is good for our benefactors, especially the project funding agency. So they will be in real time updated with the kind of works that we do undertake. So we can launch our websites in view of our benefactors, in view of vocation promotion, in view of also our spirituality to be spread, in view of donors. There is also a possibility in the website where you can constantly answer the various questions that also come. Another important online tool is blog. So you can already see below, I have listed some of the blogs. Now this WordPress, Wix, Weebly, Blogger, Tumblr, these are all free of cost. Okay, so if I start a WordPress, it will come johnshakerwordpress.org. If I don't want the WordPress to be part of my name, then I have to pay. But if you start free of cost, you have enough facilities to make use. Now you are a good writer, but you don't have a magazine to write to, but you just want to write and keep it for the public to read. That is blog. Blog helps you to post your sermons, for example, post your articles, post your poems, post your photography, post your drawing. So blog in that way gives way to individual expression, community expression. Some priests, some brothers, some sisters spend a good amount of time writing a reflection, and they may be preaching it to a small group, but you do want to make it available to others. You put it online through these blogs. Okay, just browse through these blogs, and these are very easy to handle. Okay, very easy to start. So you keep updating. So in that way, you have all your materials already available online, something that you will never lose. Your computer can crash, your hard disk can become corrupt, your pen drive can go corrupt. But if you have stored all your writings, all your reflections, all your poems in a blog form, it will be there forever, and it is also easily accessible to the others as well. So try starting a blog. So somebody who is doing a blog called a blogger. So this is also another way of expressing oneself. Then there is learning that is available on online world through Google. First of all, everybody knows Google. Okay, so Google can be used for different things. We can choose and use it for our constructive purposes. We can also choose and use it for destructive purposes. Both good things as well as bad things are available on Google on the tip of our finger. It is how disciplined, how organized we are, we will be. So just for you want to search something very useful, you end up finding something, and then you would have spent at least 1 hour just browsing something that is not at all useful to us. Okay, so that's where the aspect of discipline comes. So like YouTube, you want to search a video on motivation, you come across something else, and then you go. So this has a lot of distractive potential. The online world has a lot of capacity for distracting us from what we are supposed to do. So in that way, we need that professional discipline of sticking to the work that we are supposed to do. There are also online classes and online courses that are free of cost. Okay, so one important this is Coursera. You can browse and see for yourself. Like Coursera offers, some courses are paid, and good number of courses are free of cost. So every week, so we have formation, we have candidates. You can help the students to go follow some of Coursera. There are good number of courses on writing skills, good number of courses on spoken English, good number of courses on painting, courses on photography, courses on filmmaking, and some of them are very, very free. Okay, and you have to submit at the end of the course, there is a test. So if you as formators, administrators go through these courses, you can enable the students also have access to it. Then there is Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Team. These are all different online platforms for hosting meetings, conducting courses. Okay, so Zoom came, then there was a lot of doubt about Zoom's credibility. Then Google Meet has come, Microsoft. All of them work in the same way. Then there is lots and lots of new and credible information to learn online. Okay, so lots of books available, lots of articles, good articles are available. Church related documents are easily available, and it's a quick forum to get information. So you want to know something, just type on Google, and on the phone you don't even need to type today. Okay, it is available. You can simply speak to the Google mic, and it will easily pick up and give you. So life is made easier for us. Let's not make our life difficult, which we should make it as easy as possible with the kind. So communication is also another important aspect. There is email, chat, information exchange. All of us are using the email, so that is very clear to us. Then there are dangers with regard to this social media online. So one thing is social media addiction. Even if we are not part of the social media addiction, we can see maybe our students in the school, in the colleges, our colleagues, our staff, our own candidates, our own youngsters could be addicted to this social media. So they want to know how many likes, how many comments, how many share. They want to be constantly online. If the message peep comes, they have to check what it is. At the end of when they check, it may be a company message, but they can't restrain from checking the message. They may be talking to you, but the moment a beep sound comes, they will open in front of you and check the message, which is not good. These are all the signs of addicted, not able to have self-control over media. Too much online socializing. Okay, so what do I mean is you use it for purpose, for a good purpose. You use it. Okay, simply forwarding messages, simply posting selfies, not necessary. Constantly changing our profile pictures and DPs, not necessary. Yeah, so these are not this is not how we should use these online tools. Think of more constructive ways and means of using. Okay, lack of community involvement. So one of the dangers with regard to the mobile phone, internet, online world is the community life is becoming more and more smaller. Okay, so people are their minds are dissipated because then invasion of privacy. Okay, it is possible when you post your photos, anything of that sort, you are actually putting it in a public forum. Okay, so we need to be very careful in sharing our photos, sharing our images in WhatsApp or in Facebook or in Instagram. Tread the path of sharing our images very, very carefully. You may trust the person and share a photograph, but you don't know where it will end up. Okay, then so we need to be very careful with regard to sharing any information, images, videos. Then the tendency to forward. Don't forward each and every image. Don't forward a forwarded message, because before you forward it to that person has received it from 3 other persons. So the best online behavior is not to forward any messages unless until you are sending your own message. Okay. So some of us have that uh, uh, habit of forwarding good morning, good night messages. I'm sure the person is not really interested to receive it. So see what you want to forward, quality things. You find it very useful, and you know that person also will find it useful. Don't bulk forward to a group. Okay, that's so it is important that we do hold training programs on use of media for our young sisters and young brothers in the community. Don't take it for granted. It is one of the dangers as well as a great benefit. So we need to have some training programs regularly in their summer get together, annual get together about this online world. Don't take it for granted. In as much as it has benefit, it has great dangers as well. Then we need to be very professional in this online world. So be respectful even in the online world. No using foul language, degrading words. Avoid comments on personal life for everyone to know, like your status in WhatsApp. You need not, if you are upset, please be upset, and then don't let the world know about it. It is not necessary. Okay. So immediately a person is upset, a status is made. Yeah. So not necessary. You that privacy is something very sacred. You don't leave it open to everyone. So whenever you send a message, email, or any sort, check the words before posting. Why? There is auto correct, auto spell. Okay. So you may write something in Tamil but anglicized, something in Hindi anglicized, but that will choose some other words. So always check the words before posting. Always check the contact. Whom are you sending to? Okay, you will be talking about your superior to your fellow companion, but you will end up actually sending the message to the superior himself or herself. So always check twice the message as well as the contact whom you are sending to. Then post professional photos. If I am religious and if I have a DP or a profile picture, let it look like religious. Yeah, I need not hide my religious character there. You know, most of the profile photos will be in civil dress, or they don't even acknowledge in the details that they belong to some sort of congregation or anything. Okay, let the world know if you are a religious. So choose proper DPs. Even in the Zoom, you can see the kind of profiles that are there. Okay, we need to treat ourselves professional. You don't post children's photo as your DP and your profile. You love your cousin, you love your niece, you love your nephew. Show it in action. By posting a photo as DP, that photo can be downloaded, used, or that is not actually a profile photo. Profile has to reveal the personality behind it. Okay, some sort of identity has to be conveyed through your profile and DP. So make it professional when you do have these sort of things. Then your likes and shares are open to the public. The kind of, especially in Facebook, if you are liking something against the government, yeah, it will be watched. So you should be aware that the images that you share, your likes that you are sharing, it is open to the public. Then careful about the friend requests. Okay, unknown friend requests avoid. Sometimes in WhatsApp somebody gets our number and calls. Okay, just find out who that person is instead of immediately engaging oneself with conversation. Okay, somebody gets the number, it could be a wrong number, and then you don't know who that person is. You must have come across a lot of incidents where people who do not know each other talked hours, months, years together, and they end up cheating each other. Okay, then have a fixed time for call. Especially we as religious should have a fixed time for call. Okay, not that each and every time people can call us. If you have a community time, if you have hours time, if the community has a policy like after 10:30 nobody receives a call. Okay, we had a policy when the landline was available, and that was kind of some system in the community. Just because you have a phone doesn't mean so. You should have a personal habit of after 10:30, you won't attend any kind of socializing calls unless until it is very urgent. So in the use of online world, social media, we need to know our boundaries. Okay. Quickly, I will another 5 minutes. I will finish the rest of the slides. You can go through personally. Sometimes there are places where we are not supposed to use mobile phones. Do not use them even in public places like hospitals, like petrol bunks. These are the places where we are explicitly told not to use the mobile phone. Don't use the mobile phone. In the churches, for example, we should be very careful. So when you are in a chapel with a mobile phone, make sure it is in the flight mode or switched off mode. It will be very embarrassing when your mobile phone goes ringing when you are in the middle of a meeting or in the middle of a worship session. Then when you talk to the other person over the mobile, keep distance from the others. So the best thing is when you do receive an emergency call, when you're sitting and talking, walk out of the room, speak, and then come back. Don't make everyone else to listen to your conversation. Do not have the habit of talking loudly over the phone. Then do not put your phone on speaker when somebody else there. Generally, don't put the phone on speaker unless you are in your personal room and you know when the sound does not disturb. So if you are not able to hear, you increase the volume of the phone or you keep it as close as possible. It is not a good manners to keep your phone on speaker and let the conversation be heard by everybody. The no personal talks in public, especially as administrators, when you do get some talks which are of confidential in nature, make sure that you go into your office and then talk about it. Then do not use the phone while having meals with someone or a guest. Okay, so when you have a guest in the community, never use the phone in front of that person, even especially while having meals. I'm sure all the communities have a common rule of people not bringing the mobile phone to the refectories. Then our emails have to be concise, conversational, and then focused. Avoid fancy formatting in email. If you are sending an official email, don't have fancy formatting like decorative fonts that are available, different colors, not necessary. Official emails have to be official. Then also when you do present a PPT, professional PPTs do not have too much of animations. Okay, only slides change. That is a professional. Then also not too many words, content in each of the slides. When you have attachment in a file, proper name. You must have downloaded from a net and that will have its own name and numbers. So when you attach a file, always check the file name, what kind of file you are attaching. That also is very useful for a person who is receiving it. Then there are zip files. When you have larger files, you can use WeTransfer and Google Drive. So you can check all these things later on. Then think before sending email message and don't send when you are emotional. When you are angry, never send a message. Have a cooling period. Okay, otherwise you yourself won't know what we are doing. Then this is for the youngsters today. They use lot of abbreviations and emojis. You can Google for yourself and see the different kind of emojis, different kind of abbreviations that are used today in the online world. Then use the recipient field correctly. Recipient field means whom you are sending to. Okay, so it is always said add the recipient at the end of the email. Once you format the email, then you go and check the recipient and then you place the recipient. So you may not be making a mistake. Make the subject line useful. Always write the subject to the email, and that subject should convey what is the. So if it is urgent, write urgent. So the person is checking it immediately. Then careful forwarding the emails. Okay. So when you forward the email, you have to be very careful. So if I am complaining about somebody, and as a provincial, I am forwarding the same mail to the another person about whom the person is complaining. So the person knows that I have forwarded the email to the person. So when you forward the email, don't simply forward it. Copy, paste to a new email and send. So depending on the content, you have to see how you are forwarding the mail. make use of hiding recipients' email IDs. Sometimes you may be sending to 100 people, and all 100 people need not know the mail IDs of each of them. Father will teach you in the coming days what to do. There is a provision where only I will get my email ID. The rest of the other people's email ID I will not get. So persons may not like to share their email IDs with others. So we need to be careful. Then in replying the email, we can also see replying to sender is a facility, replying to all there is a facility. So depending on the content of the message, so if somebody is wishing happy birthday and the whole province ID is there, you don't say reply all and wish everybody back. Okay? So you only want to wish that person concerned. Then reply promptly, don't delay. So that's about the online. So I will stop here. I have added some of the media laws, okay, which are very basic that we need to know, which you can go through for yourself. So we will finish here as it is nearing 7:30. Okay, so if somebody has any question or anything, can discuss.
Thank you for John. Actually, just before I leave it to Father Ben to hold the conversation and clarification, I just want to inform that this 2 days is a continuation of the last month's program. All the things are in the video, the YouTube video, so you are welcome to take it. THALIR-visit, that is the channel in which you have got a lot of motivational things. That's one thing. Second thing is, there is already some suggestions coming out for the third level, which will be focusing on web designing, because most of our provinces are having websites, but this is handled by outsiders. Not even a religious, not even a priest or sister, but an outsider, not even a Christian. Sometimes a Hindu, a technician is holding all our data. So, dear friends, it's a very, very risky thing. So, we are also thinking of having another one only on web designing, how to manage web management, which will be very, very helpful. But the days to go, what Father John Sekar has given, please open and see what all things are there available. Maybe half an hour per day, if you work out some technical things, you'll be able to go through all the things. For any doubts or clarification, go and type what is your doubt in the YouTube, then you got also the video. So video explanations are there. So these are some of the things I want to tell. And another one is tomorrow onwards we have practicals. So what for Anthony Swami, the SPD father who is going to help us from tomorrow onwards, this is more practical. Whatever father has given, it will be actually in practice. How to use this mobile for the filming, how to edit. So therefore, tomorrow onwards, please keep your laptop for using the Zoom application, and this one free for some video editing, other things. So keep both of these ready for your use. I repeat, tomorrow, as far as possible, try to use a Zoom application in the laptop and keep this one, bring this and keep it ready for the use. These are some of the things. And in a special way, I want to thank Father John Sekar for bringing wonderful things. His PowerPoints are very, very profound. We'll be using it, Father. And I leave it to Father Ben to continue the session, question hour.
Yeah, Father John Sekar, it was a wonderful session.
Thank you.
There are a few questions in the chat box. I'll just read it out.
Yes, Father.
Why do people forget very often? What causes them to forget? And how can we help the person?
They may have to go for maybe some memory exercise. There are exercises which are suggested for the persons who are very forgetful. But so if the persons deliberately forget, you can't help it. But if the persons are naturally forgetful, you can't also help it. But a person can have some sort of things to remind. So instead of focusing on how to get out of forgetfulness, we can ask how we can remember. So some people write on their palms, some people have a cheat in their hand. So you have these facilities. The phone has got notes facility. So you have it, you can come, it can appear on the screen space. computers have got that stickers. Okay, so that also you can make use of it to remember things. So see how you can make yourself to remember things. That's very important.
Yeah.
So
Um,
so I'm sharing these stickers. You can see the stickers here. You can see Panitya.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
yes,
see.
yes.
Yeah, this is the sticker thing I'm talking about. So it will be always there on your computer. Okay. So you can make these things. So as soon as you open the laptop or computer, you know that it is things. These things have to be done.
Oh,
So
how do you get this?
it is there for the stickers. They are called. So
I
you
see.
can. Your father can tell you tomorrow. Sticky notes. They are called.
Okay.
So if you go to the tools bar and type sticky notes, it will come. So
Okay,
you
thank
can keep it. So that way you can remember further.
Yeah. A question from Anita. Anita. There are times we try our best to complete our task or an assignment before deadline, but unfortunately, we are unable to complete. But there is a willingness and aware of the task and deadline.
Yeah.
So, can you give us input to grow in this aspect?
Yes. So one thing is that our deadlines have to be realistic. Okay. So I gave a lot of emphasis on review. So once you know you have not completed the deadline assignment, for example, then you review what actually went wrong. What was the reason? Whether you were able to give sufficient time for it. If not, what came in the midway? Maybe that work demanded more time. So next time when you have a similar, you know you won't be able to complete in 2 days, but you need 3 days. So we learn through mistakes. So if I was not able to keep the deadline because the work had more hours required, 8 hours, not 2-3 hours. So I thought I could complete in 3 hours. I started the work, but I ended up giving 5 hours. So I learned the next time. So that's the reason why we need to plan and review the plan. Then the next. Besides the hard work, we also need to see realistically how much of time is required for a particular work.
There is a Realme raised hand, but person is not unmuting.
Oh.
Realme, you can just unmute and ask if you raised hand. Realme 6. If you are asking about the practical sessions, maybe from tomorrow, I think we'll have practical.
Yes. Yeah.
The thing, there are so many compliments for John Sekar.
Thank you.